5, 6, and...
Nicholson Family Content. It's a name that we totally made up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The Lighthouse is a cinematic experience unrivaled in modern film in sheer weirdness and originality. It is an experience that you just really can't get from any other film. That said, the influence of some other films can still be seen in spots, and today I want to take a look at how the ending is very similar to the ending of another classic film, but the two endings highlight a fundamental thematic difference between the two films. I would say that the ending of The Lighthouse is extremely similar to the ending of 2001: A Space Odyssey, but thematically, the endings are polar opposites. At the end of The Lighthouse, we see Ephraim Winslow / Thomas Howard enter the room where the light is, and he was not allowed in this room by Thomas Wake when Thomas Wake was still alive. The gates of the light open up, and Howard is very happy about this. And this sequence is very similar to how the monolith seemingly floats toward David Bowman. However, Dave does not seem to have a choice whether or not to enter the Stargate, as it just seems to choose him. But Howard makes the decision himself to reach into the light. Based on the expression on his face, he clearly thinks that he will get some kind of gain from this, and he reaches into the light out of greed. Throughout the film, Thomas Wake had worshipped the light like a god, and as the film progresses, Howard grows to be the same. I would interpret this as the light essentially being on the same level of divine power as the beings inside the Stargate, which are described in the 2001 novel as beings that ascended to a higher form of pure light and energy and possess greater intelligence about the universe. When Dave Bowman enters the Stargate, he is met with imagery of things beyond human comprehension, presumably bestowing a greater intelligence upon him. When he enters what seems to be some sort of hotel room, he seems to quickly bypass his entire human life, showing us through the use of editing how the old human form seems lesser and insignificant. He is then transformed into the Star Child, a seemingly greater being who comes to Earth to bestow a new age of evolution upon the human race. Dave Bowman has been accepted by the higher beings to be the catalyst for the advancement of humanity as a whole. Thomas Howard was not so lucky. When reaching into the light, motivated by his want for the power and knowledge that he thinks the light possesses, he is met with a horrible burning. Although he may have seen the great rewards that lie within the light, he is still punished for his greed. He is cast down to the rocks below and has his organs consumed by seagulls. As many have pointed out, his punishment is very similar to the punishment of Prometheus, who was chained to a rock to have his liver eaten by an eagle every day. This is punishment for Prometheus's theft of fire, a type of light bringing hope and knowledge to humanity. This is just like how Thomas Howard attempts to steal the knowledge that he seems to believe lies inside the light. This parallel also solidified my interpretation of the light as a higher being, because the light punishes Howard the same way the gods punished Prometheus. So, what is this all getting at? In 2001: A Space Odyssey, Dave Bowman unplugs HAL 9000 and is accepted into the Stargate to become the Star Child. This illustrates an optimistic viewpoint that humankind will be able to detach ourselves from earthly things such as AI and be able to ascend to a higher form of enlightenment. But in The Lighthouse, Thomas Howard commits murder and reaches into the light himself for his own gain and is met with punishment, illustrating the viewpoint that humankind is too greedy to be truly enlightened. All in all, this just goes to show that two very similar sequences in films can be used to illustrate completely different viewpoints.
Nicholson Family Content. It's a name that we totally made up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.